And we start this week's pod at the London Stadium where West Ham beat Wolves 3-0 in a clinical display of finishing, which they really needed to show after the demolition job that Fulham did on them last week, 5-0 turnaround in Fulham's favour. But I think in a game like this where they come on the back of a 2-0 win against Freiburg only a few days ago, there's a real credit to West Ham's resilience first of all, and the star of the show undoubtedly was Kudus. What a performance from him and what a player he is. And it's difficult to kind of quantify what Kudus adds to this West Ham side, isn't it? Because he's not a typical David Moyes player by any means, but 2 fantastic goals on this occasion. And he's in a hot streak right now, isn't he? And as a United fan, Manchester United fan that is, he's kind of the player I wish that we'd have signed from Ajax instead of Anthony, really. I don't think anyone would have balked at paying 100 million for him, having seen what he's done now, but West Ham got one of the deals of the season by signing him for the amount of money they actually paid for him. And he's a real attacking threat, isn't he? The dimension he adds to West Ham's attack is something that they needed, I think, after some of the players they had last season misfiring for them. Scamacca, probably the one that didn't fit in much with the West Ham system of old, but David Moyes hasn't changed an awful lot to accommodate him, I don't think. He's a player that you've kind of got to let be, and he's off the leash at the minute. He's performing brilliantly, and this game was no exception. We can't really mention this performance, though, or that of Kudus, without talking about the performance of Lucas Pacqueta as well. His hat-trick of assists obviously helped massively in this case, and he's another player whose maverick nature, I think, is going against what we expect from David Moyes, but I think he's the kind of player that you want to see flourish to elevate this West Ham team beyond what it can be, which sometimes is tremendously dull. And it shouldn't be. With players like Kudus and Pacqueta in the team, they should be firing off performances like this on the regular. So yeah, good to see a 3-0 win for the Hammers. And it climbs them to 8th in the table, believe it or not. They're just behind Manchester United now, who, equally surprising that they're in this position they are on the table too, after they're in different form. But West Ham fans, I'm keen to hear what you think about the way the team are performing this season, because obviously they're still firing in Europe, performing on paper at least pretty well in the league. 8th place is, if you finished there, you'd be super happy, wouldn't you? And with a couple of players like Kudus and Pacqueta in your team, and Bowen as well, who scored another great goal in this instance, a season looks great again for West Ham, doesn't it? Only takes a performance like this to suddenly relive the optimism and to start feeling good again. Kudus, an incredible performance from him, and the key to West Ham winning this game so comfortably, I think.